All right, let's dive in. We're exploring the world of Amerion today.
From Spark of the Everflame?
Yeah, exactly. Spark of the Everflame. And this world, it's got magic, but it's not like, your typical free-for-all magic system.
It's definitely controlled.
Yeah, it's controlled by the Descended.
This whole race of super powerful beings.
Yeah.
And of course, they rule over everyone
All
else.
immortals, yep.
And it just creates this really interesting dynamic, right? Because you have this world where magic is real,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also really restricted.
Yeah, and, we've talked about these power imbalances before,
Oh,
where
absolutely.
you've got like a group or a race or whatever who has access to all this power.
And they get to decide how everyone else lives.
Exact.
And in Amerion, it's even more visually obvious because they've got,
I got the different eye
yeah,
colors.
each realm is ruled by descended with a unique eye color.
It's a cool visual, right? Like, you instantly know
Oh, absolutely.
who's in charge.
Yeah, and where they're from. And it plays a big part in the story, especially when we meet Diem, our main character.
Right, Diem.
Yeah, she's living in Mortal City in Lumnos.
Like, literally named Mortal City.
Right, no magic allowed, basically.
Yeah, which is interesting because her
And like
mama.
her mom's the big mystery.
Mm.
She vanished 6 months before the story even starts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it's not your typical missing mom trope.
Oh, it's definitely not.
This sends Diem on like a quest to uncover all these secrets.
Yeah, big secrets. That could, like, change everything we think we know about Amerion.
About the Descended, about magic, about everything.
Yeah.
And it all starts on this holiday called Forging Day.
Oh, yeah, Forging Day. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, they're celebrating the spell that binds
Yeah.
mortals to the Descended.
Imagine that, like a holiday
It's the
celebrating.
own subjugation.
Yeah, basically.
It's messed up when you think about it.
It really emphasizes the power imbalance, right? Like, you're forced to celebrate.
The very thing that keeps you down.
Exactly.
It's really messed up.
And on this particular forging day,
There's a blood sun.
yeah, a blood sun, like a creepy red haze over everything.
It's like foreshadowing, right?
Definitely. Like, the world itself is.
Hello.
Yeah, something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah,
So we keep hearing about the Everflame,
right.
but what is it exactly?
It's like the source of all magic in Amerion.
Okay.
This mystical force that fuels the Descended powers.
So they control the source of their power.
Exactly.
So it's like they've got a monopoly on magic.
Right.
Nobody else can get any.
And that's why the Guardians of the Everflame, the rebel group, they're fighting back.
But they want everyone to have access.
Right, not just the Descended.
Okay, so that's the backdrop, right? This whole power struggle, the
And
rebellion.
smack dab in the middle of it.
She's got her mom missing.
Right, and she's having all these weird visions.
Yeah, like things she can't explain.
Things that make you wonder if she's got magic herself.
Could she be descended?
Possibly. Yeah. Remember those guys that confronted her on Forging Day? They could tell she was different.
Yeah, they said her eyes weren't like other mortals.
Exactly.
And then there's that scene with Lily.
Oh, yeah, the Descended girl who gets hurt.
Diem heals her, just like that.
With this burst of silver light.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, where did that come from?
That's the thing. We've only ever seen the Descended use light and shadow magic tied to the Everflame.
Mm.
Silver light is something else entirely.
It's like she's a wild card, right?
Totally.
Huh.
And that makes her a target.
Both sides want her on their team.
The Descended, the rebellion.
Exactly.
They all see her power.
And then you've got Henri, her friend from childhood.
He's part of the rebellion.
Right. And Prince Luther, the descended guy.
Who seems kind of interested in Diem.
Well, yeah. He saw her heal Lily. He knows she's not just a regular mortal.
You know she's different.
Yeah, and that makes their whole dynamic so interesting because she's caught between these two powerful forces, and
It's like she's standing on a fault line.
everything she does could trigger.
A massive earthquake.
And on top of that, the Guardians don't trust her.
Right, because of her father.
They think he's a traitor, so they think she might be too.
It's really isolating for her.
Yeah, and then we find out
Oh boy.
her father is actually working with the Descended.
That's a huge twist.
Like, what? It just throws everything into question.
Who can Diem trust? What's her place in all of this? We have to keep digging to find out.
So many questions. And remember, this is just the beginning of Diem's story. We've only just scratched the surface of the secrets hidden within Amerion.
Back again with more Spark of the Everflame.
Picking up right where we left off, Diem's world just got rocked.
Yeah, her own father working with the Descended.
Betrayal on top of everything else she's dealing with.
It's got to be tough for her. The Guardians are suspicious of her too.
Because of her father, yeah. They think she might betray them.
And then there's Henry and Luther pulling her in different directions.
Oh, yeah. Talk about a love triangle.
Yeah.
But Diem's tough.
She doesn't give up. She wants the truth.
And those visions she's having.
Right, they're leading her somewhere.
With Hearthstone.
Like she's being drawn there for a reason.
And guess what she finds?
Her mother's journal.
A secret journal hidden away.
It's like a window into her mother's thoughts.
We learn so much from it.
That she was a great healer, but also involved in all these secrets?
Yeah, and that the king's illness isn't an accident.
Someone's poisoning him.
That's a whole new level of intrigue.
It makes you wonder who's behind it.
And what Diem's mother knew.
Exactly. The plot thickens.
So we've got political schemes, the prophecy, the love triangle.
And Diem right in the center of it all.
Trying to figure out her own powers, too.
That prophecy is pretty cryptic, isn't it? Devourer of crowns.
Is that Diem? Is she going to cause chaos?
Or will she bring balance? So many possibilities.
It's all tied to her choices, right?
But even with all this going on, there's still a very human element to the story.
Diem's relationships, her struggles.
With the Guardians, with Henri, with Luther.
Oh man, that proposal from Henri right before everything blew up.
Talk about awkward timing.
It just shows how much pressure Diem's under to choose a side.
The rebellion or the descended?
But she wants to make her own decisions.
Which is what leads her to confront her father.
To demand answers about her mother, his loyalty, everything.
Such a powerful scene.
And that's when we get the biggest shock yet.
You're kidding.
Her mother's alive. The king's got her prisoner.
Wow, the relief, the anger, all at once.
Totally changes Diem's mission.
From finding answers to rescuing her mom.
And the king, he's not just some sick old man.
He's a ruthless tyrant, willing to imprison an innocent woman.
It makes you question everything, right? The lines between good and evil.
The rebellion's using violence too, they're not perfect.
And Diem's caught in the middle.
She wants to do what's right, save her mom, but without causing more harm.
It's a tough spot to be in.
And then there's the attack on Lumno City.
Because Diem stole those blueprints?
Which the Guardians used to target the armory.
Her actions have consequences, even if her intentions were good.
Now the Descended see her as a threat.
And the Guardians still don't fully trust her.
She's surrounded by enemies.
And while she's fleeing the burning armory, she runs into Luther.
In all that chaos, they share a kiss.
A forbidden romance, right? But their worlds are so different.
Luther pushes her away. He knows it's dangerous.
It's heartbreaking, but it shows the tough choices they both face.
Their own desires versus the good of their people.
It's like a magical Romeo and Juliet.
With a whole lot more going on.
It's what makes this story so gripping. All the drama, the secrets, the magic.
Diem's on a wild ride, and we're right there with her.
So what's next for Diem? Her mom's a prisoner. She's got enemies everywhere.
Which path will she choose? We'll find out in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, final part of our deep dive into Spark of the Everflame. Things are getting intense.
No kidding. Diem's got a lot on her plate.
She's got to rescue her mom from the king, but the world's going crazy around her.
Yeah, you've got the poisoning plot, the prophecy, the rebellion.
That whole love triangle thing, it's like a powder keg.
And Diem's starting to realize just how powerful she really is.
But she's also got to figure out how to control it, right?
Exactly. And that's what makes this final act so exciting.
She goes to the Hearthstone. Finally.
It's not just about finding her mom anymore.
It's about discovering her true potential.
Yeah, who she is, what she's meant to do.
So what's actually at the Hearthstone? We've been hearing about it all this time.
Well, remember those mentions of a ritual?
Yeah, something about unlocking the Everflame's power.
It turns out only someone with both descended and mortal blood can perform it.
Hear you saying?
Diem's the only one who can do it.
Whoa, that changes everything.
Her mom knew. The king's scared of it. The Guardians suspect it.
It explains why everyone's so focused on her.
Makes the prophecy even more interesting, doesn't it?
The devourer of crowns. Maybe it is Diem.
But not necessarily in a bad way.
It depends what she chooses to do with that power.
Will she heal Amerion or destroy it?
Big responsibility for someone who didn't ask for any of this.
She's not some chosen one, just caught in the middle.
But she's strong. She's making her own choices.
Which is why we root for her, even when she makes mistakes.
Okay, so rescuing her mom, how does she even plan to do that?
The king wants the ritual, so she uses that.
Offers to perform it in exchange for her mom's freedom.
It's a gamble, but she's desperate.
The king, though, he's not going to give up easily.
He just wants more power.
Diem sees right through him, though.
She's not going to be his puppet.
And meanwhile, the rebellion's planning their own attack.
To overthrow the king, free everyone from the descended.
So it all comes to a head at the same time.
The ritual, the rescue, the rebellion.
Talk about a
It's
climax.
an all-out battle at the Hearthstone.
The king's trying to force Diem, the guardians are fighting.
And Diem's right there, trying to control the Everflame.
The fate of Amerion hangs in the balance.
And Diem has to make some tough decisions.
About her father, about Luther, about what she believes in.
No easy answers.
So does she do the ritual? Who does she choose?
Can't spoil the ending for you, but it's powerful.
Diem takes control, refuses to be defined by anyone else.
It's about identity, freedom, breaking free from expectations.
Inspiring stuff. So how'd the ending make you feel? Without spoilers, of course.
Hopeful, but also knowing the fight's not over.
Yeah, Diem's journey continues, but she's made a difference.
It's a reminder that change takes time. Every little bit counts.
It really makes you think about what you'd do in her shoes.
That's the mark of a good story, right? Stays with you.
So, wrapping up Spark of the Everflame, what are your takeaways?
World building is incredible, characters you care about, and those deep themes.
Magic, oppression, family, finding your own way.
Diem's story gives you hope, even when things are dark.
Shows you can fight for what's right, make your own choices.
Even small acts of courage can change the world.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, that's our deep dive into Spark of the Everflame.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Lots to think about, that's for sure.
Till next time, keep exploring those stories that matter.
Keep asking questions, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.